Welcome everyone to Chapter 1. In each week and in this week, I'm going to review some of the important concepts that you're going to see. We're going to discuss these concepts and hopefully give you a better understanding of what we're looking at. When we look at economics, we're looking at the study of unlimited wants with limited resources. You'll notice that everyone has a want, but it's very challenging to satisfy all of our wants. So the study of economics is looking at how we focus on our evaluation of our resources. Now, there's three basic questions, or here's some typical economic questions, like how are prices of goods and services determined? How does the pollution affect the economy? What are types of roles of the government, how they can influence consumers? How does international trade influence policies and government decisions? So those are some of the typical economic questions we look at in the course. Now, in this course, we assume that people are rational in the decisions that they make. We also assume that consumers respond to incentives. So if you go to a store, you'll notice that if there is a sale, that you'll be more willing to buy the good or service because of the sale or incentive. Optimal decisions are made at the margin, which means we make our decisions based off of each unit. And on the margin, that looks at additional units, like an additional dollar, additional hour of studying. That's how we evaluate our decisions. Now, what are some of the questions that a society must answer? They must answer three basic questions. What goods and services will be produced? So this is going to be determined by the demand of consumers, because consumers determine what they want in the market. Question 2, how will the goods and services be produced? So when we look at how they're being produced, we're going to be looking at the methods of the production that firms will evaluate. You'll notice that the methods are very important. Third question is going to be looking at who will get the goods and services. And who will get the goods and services depends on who can pay the higher amount. And that's important because the individual that pays the higher amount is able to attain more goods and services. Now, the types of economic systems that we're going to focus on is a centrally planned economy. A centrally planned economy is where the government decides on what to produce, how to produce, and who gets the goods and services. A market economy is looking at where buyers and sellers get together with no government intervention. So you have one economy where governments plan decisions and another economy where the government does not get involved and buyers and sellers plan decisions. Now, the key to market economies is governments don't get involved. So if the price of Pepsi is $5, for example, governments don't have to get involved to say, Pepsi, you can't sell your product for that much. People will not buy it. And when people don't buy it, this will lead to the markets or Pepsi realizing maybe we're selling this product at too high of a price. Now, when we look at economic models, and we're going to have a lot of economic models in this class, we're going to have a lot of assumptions that we have to evaluate. And these assumptions are very important for our analysis. And you notice with these assumptions, we're going to use economic data to test our hypotheses. But when you look at models, make sure to look at the models and what they're trying to evaluate, because that'll be very important. Now, we're going to look at two different types of economics. We're going to look at microeconomics, which is the study of how individuals make decisions and how their decisions influence the economy, whereas macroeconomics is looking at the study of the economy as a whole, including inflation, unemployment, economic growth, and how does the policies of the overall economy influence decisions by consumers and firms. Now, in this class, you're going to see we're going to be looking at maps as a graphical model, and maps can tell us a lot about what's occurring. You want to evaluate maps and look at maps to understand how they can be used as a graphical representation. And they're just an economic model. So this is our summary of Chapter 1, and I look forward to your analysis.